Good morning, everyone. I wanted to get with you guys today and talk a little bit about what you're about to start reading in chapter 26. And that's the medicine chapter. And one of the first things you guys are going to read about on page 662 in your textbook, you're going to start reading about immunizations. So we're going to talk about that and go into a little bit of detail about what they are. And then we're going to talk just for a second about the coding for it. Okay, just some important points to remember. Okay, so to start off with immunizations, first of all, there are two different kinds. There are active and there are passive. And your active immunization, according to your book, is the type given when it's anticipated that a person will be in contact with a disease. Active immunization agents can be toxoids or vaccines. And what toxoids are they are bacteria that have been made non-toxic and when injected into the patient produce an immune response that builds protection against a certain disease. Okay. The other type of vaccine is an actual virus that they inject into the patient, and it kind of builds up an immunity to that strain of that disease. And that prime example for what a vaccine is your influenza, your flu shot, right? They give you a small dose of that strain, and there's several different strains that they make every year, depending on what's going around the most. And they inject you with that vaccine, with that virus, to help you build a response so that when you do come in contact with actual flu, it does not affect you so harshly as it would if you had not had that flu shot. Okay, all right. So those are active immunizations. A passive immunization does not cause an immune response. Rather, the injected material causes a high level of antibodies against a disease. And those are called immune globulins, and you'll also read about those. And a good example for these is things like your hepatitis, your tetanus. I think there's one for chickenpox now. You know, all the ones our kids have to get to get into school, polio, all those. And as time goes by, more and more are being created, right? So that's a little bit about immunizations. And the next thing I want to talk about is a little bit about the coding for immunizations. One of the most important things that, and I think y'all have actually heard me talk about this in last week's Zoom, when you are coding an immunization, there's a code for that immunization, and then there is also an administration code, or what some coders call the stick. You have the medicine and the stick, right? And you have to code both of those. And those are also included in that same medicine chapter in your CPT manual, okay? And those are codes 90460 to 90474, if I remember correctly. And just always remember that anytime you are coding an immunization, you must include that code. And also, if I'm not mistaken, under each of those little codes, your immunization codes in your CPT manual, there's a note that's going to remind you an administration code must be included with this code. Do not code it by itself. All right, so that is just a little short introduction into immunizations. It's kind of interesting because we all, most of us get these, and our kids have to get them to go to public school and all that stuff. So interesting information, good to know. And of course, as always, if you guys have any questions or concerns, feel free to get with me. Have a great day.